You know that moment when someone shares a story and you believe them right away without a second thought? Or when a new friend promises something and you lean in, hoping it's true. It feels natural, almost automatic. But sometimes it leaves you wondering why things don't always turn out as expected. Today, let's look at the psychology behind this feeling and what it really says about how you experience the world. Many people who trust too easily share similar patterns in how they think, feel, and move through life. These patterns often come from early experiences where openness was rewarded, or from a natural empathy that makes you see the good in others first. It's like your mind is wired to connect quickly, skipping the walls others build. Let's walk through some of the most common ways this shows up. You might find that you give people the benefit of the doubt, even when small red flags appear. Picture lending money to a coworker who says they'll pay you back next week. You hand it over with a smile, because questioning feels rude. Psychologically, this stems from high agreeableness, a trait where your brain prioritizes harmony over caution. Studies on personality show that agreeable people activate reward centers faster when trusting, releasing dopamine that makes connection feel good. It's an adaptation from childhood, perhaps, where trusting parents or siblings kept relationships smooth. This often goes hand in hand with overlooking inconsistencies in what people say. You hear a friend cancel plans last minute, again, and you think they must have a good reason. It's common to fill in the gaps with kindness. Your mind does this through something called confirmation bias toward positivity. When you trust easily, the brain's default network, active during social reflection, filters out negatives to protect that warm feeling of bond. It's how empathy works. Mirror neurons fire, letting you feel their side so deeply that doubt fades. Another thing you might notice is jumping into commitments quickly. A new acquaintance suggests a project together, and you're all in before knowing their track record. Everyday example, signing up for that group trip with people you just met, excited by the shared vibe. This pattern ties to anxious attachment styles, where early bonds taught you that quick closeness prevents abandonment. Psychologically, it's the amygdala signaling safety and vulnerability. Trusting fast feels like securing the relationship before it slips away. You probably pick up on others' good intentions intuitively, sometimes ignoring your own boundaries. Like when family asks for favors endlessly, and you say yes because their smile seems genuine. It's not naivety, it's hyper-empathy at play. Research in emotional intelligence reveals that people who trust readily have stronger insular activation, the brain area that reads others' feelings. This adaptation helps in unpredictable environments, like growing up where reading moods kept peace, but it can blur your own needs. This can show up as feeling surprised when trust is broken. You invest time in a neighbor who borrows tools and never returns them, only realizing later it was one-sided. Many notice a quiet disbelief, like, "I thought we were on the same page." Here, optimism bias kicks in. Your prefrontal cortex projects positive outcomes based on past hopes fulfilled. It's a protective mechanism. Evolution favored those who trusted kin groups for survival, even if it meant occasional letdowns. It's common to rebuild trust faster than most after disappointments. A partner lets you down once, but a sincere apology pulls you right back in. You might think, everyone makes mistakes. This resilience comes from secure base programming in the brain's attachment system. Psychologists like John Bowlby noted how early consistent caregiving builds this. Your mind rebounds quickly because holding grudges feels heavier than forgiveness. You might attract people who take advantage subtly, without seeing it coming. For instance, volunteering for every team task at work because colleagues' requests feel urgent and true. This pattern links to low Machiavellianism scores in personality tests. Your natural low suspicion makes you a safe haven for others. Social psychology explains it as reciprocity imbalance. You give freely, expecting the world mirrors that kindness, shaped by communities where generosity built alliances. Often, this leads to a pattern of quiet self-doubt after letdowns. You replay conversations, wondering if you missed something obvious. Like after a friend ghosts, you think, was I too open? Internally, it's cognitive dissonance resolving. Your trusting schema clashes with reality, prompting the default mode network to overanalyze for next time. Yet, it rarely changes the core wiring. It's just your mind's way of processing without shutting down. Another sign is sharing personal details early on. You meet someone at a cafe, and soon you're opening up about family struggles because they shared a bit first. It feels connecting. This vulnerability reciprocity is driven by oxytocin release, the trust hormone, which floods when you sense sincerity. Neuroscience shows it strengthens bonds rapidly, an adaptation from tribal life where quick alliances meant protection. Another common pattern is that you often absorb other people's emotions so deeply that you end up putting your own feelings and needs on the back burner. For example, a friend starts sharing their struggles, and you immediately jump in to help, completely forgetting that you're already exhausted or dealing with your own challenges. This is known as emotional absorption. Your brain's mirror neurons fire so strongly that you almost feel their pain as your own. While this quality makes you incredibly compassionate and caring, over time it can leave you feeling drained and empty inside. That's why it's so important to learn the balance between genuine empathy and protecting your own emotional energy, helping others without losing yourself in the process. If much of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. These patterns are common for people whose minds lean toward empathy and connection, often shaped by early lessons in openness or environments that valued trust. Simply noticing them can make things feel a little lighter, like seeing the map of your own wiring. It doesn't mean changing overnight. Awareness alone shifts how interactions land. You start asking gentle questions, setting soft boundaries, all while keeping that open heart. If any part stood out to you, feel free to share below. I read every comment. If this helped you make sense of something, consider liking and subscribing for more calm psychology videos. Turn on the bell if you'd like to see the next one. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, not professional advice.